Today, let's find out what energy is and what types of energy exist. So, by definition, let's ask what is energy? Energy is anything that has a capacity to produce or to create a change in matter, and it's the ability to do a work or to cause a motion. If you look around you, you will see that energy is present everywhere. For example, cars move thanks to energy produced by motor combustion. The blades of the mill start moving thanks to the energy produced by the wind. And we can walk or jump thanks to the energy we get from food. You should know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy can only be transferred from one object to another. For example, energy in the air can be transformed into electricity, and this can be transformed into thermal energy to warm a room. Also, you should know about energy that its energy transforms. For example, when we use a battery for a flashlight, the chemical energy in the battery transforms into electric energy. Energy is transferred from one object to another. When we mix hot water and cold water, thermal energy passes from hot water to cold water. Energy is transported and can move from one place to another. This way, energy travels through electrical cable and reaches our houses. Energy can be stored. For example, mobile phone batteries are used for storing energy. Let's recap. Energy is transformed, it's transferred, it's transported, and it's stored. Now, what about types of energy or forms of energy? Let's begin with thermal energy, that is also called heat energy, and it's transferred with heat. Mechanical energy or kinetic energy is created by two objects owing to their movement. Electric energy is carried by electric currents. What about chemical energy? Is found in substances like food or fuel. And now, light energy that is present in the sunlight. Let's make a short review about energy. Its ability to do work. It comes in different forms: heat or thermal, light or radiant, motion or kinetic, electrical, and chemical and gravitational, sound energy and elastic energy. There are two types of energy. First one, we call it stored or potential energy. Potential energy is stored energy or energy of position. It includes chemical and gravitational and elastic. Now, what about kinetic or working energy? Kinetic energy, it can include kinetic energy or energy in motion, light, sound, thermal, electrical. So we have 8 forms of energy: electrical, light, sound energy, thermal, gravitational potential energy, chemical potential energy, and of course elastic potential energy. Let's give you example about elastic potential energy. For example, springs and stretching bands and rubber bands and knickers. Okay. Chemical energy is found inside food or fuels and batteries. Mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic and potential energy or energy due to position. Thermal is about heat, and light is about the light, the sunlight, and of course electrical energy, by example, any device that needs electrical currents. What about law of conservation of energy? This does not mean saving energy. Instead, it means that energy is neither created nor destroyed. When we are using energy, the energy doesn't disappear. Energy changes from one form of into another forms of energy. Now let's compare between the two types of energy, potential and kinetic. As you know, potential is a stored energy and it's ready to use. And kinetic is energy of motion, of movement. So let's see some examples of potential energy. Of course, chemical, and we have gravitational, and we have elastic energy. Now, what about forms of kinetic energy? We have radiant, we have thermal, motion, sound, electrical. Let's see some example potential. By example, batteries, by example, food or fuel. As chemical, and stretching a rubber band between your fingers, a roller coaster at the top of a hill due to gravity or the height. So these one are examples of potential energy. Now, what about kinetic energy? When a battery is making a toy to move, the movement is called kinetic, is due to kinetic energy. So when the rubber band is moving, so it's about kinetic energy. When the roller coaster moving down the hill, it's about kinetic energy. Let's take the example about this boy that is throwing the orange. So look at the different position of the orange. So in A, the orange is in the boy's hand. Now, as the orange rises, its kinetic energy, it's increasing, and this one will change to potential energy. In position C, as the highest point, this one, it reached the maximum potential energy. Now, let's take this example about gravitational potential energy. We have two squares, one blue and one yellow, and the blue square has more potential gravitational energy because he is at a greater height. Now look at this roller coaster and these carts or these cars. They are moving down from A to B. So at what position is the potential energy is the greatest? Of course, it's at the highest level. So here in A is the potential energy is maximum, and in B the kinetic energy is the greatest. Look at these different diagrams of spring. As you know, spring can be compressed or can be stretched. So in W is compressed by hands, and in Y and Z is stretched to its maximum, and X is the default normal situation. So which diagram shows the spring with the most potential energy? Is in W, because it's so compressed, and when it's released it can move so fast. So the most potential energy, the stored energy, that is ready to use, is in W. Now look at this roller coaster. We have the same car or the same cart. So this one is it's moving from A to the position D. So in A it has the greatest potential energy due to gravity to the height. When it's moving from A and moving down, when it reaches the position of C, it has the most kinetic energy and the highest speed. Take this example about the pendulum, and this pendulum, the ball is moving from 1 to 4, from right to left, and so at what position is the potential energy can reach the maximum? It will be the highest. So it's in position 1 and position 4, because it's about height. Let's take some example of energy transfer. Here the girl is holding a ball. The ball it has a height, and this one it has a potential energy that is stored, that is ready to be used. Now if the girl let the ball fall down, so it can move, and the potential energy is transforming into kinetic energy. Another example of energy transfer. Here, look about the battery operated fan. This one, it uses a battery, so the first energy in use is chemical. Now, this chemical energy is transferring from chemical in the battery into electrical, and this one is transforming into kinetic, so the blades are moving. This simulation is about energy forms and changes and transforming energy. So here we have different forms of energy. The bike can show us the kinetic energy. Let's show the energy symbols for each one. So inside our body we have chemical energy that comes from food, from eating food. Now when the girl is riding the bike, it's moving. So look, the energy of the food or chemical energy is transforming into mechanical or kinetic. So this one is kinetic or mechanical energy. And now again, look, when it's riding the bike, it's moving the wheel. So the chemical energy that's stored is transforming into electrical. And now after the chemical is over. And now when the chemical energy is transforming into mechanical or kinetic energy, now it's transforming by the generator into electrical, the blue E. So this one electrical is heating and boiling water. Now the water is evaporating, so this one is thermal energy. Look at the temperature, it's increasing. Now we have different forms of energy. By example, water, when it flows, it can move the wheel, and the same. And look about the sunlight, when we can change this one into the solar panel. So the sunlight and the light energy, it can be captured by the solar panel, and the solar panel can be transform the light into electrical, and electrical energy can be transformed into thermal energy. We can change the boiling water. By example, we can use a lamp, a bulb, or can use a fan. So it can move. Here, look, and the bulb or the lamp, it can give us light. Look, so it's turning on. Okay, let's make an activity about energy transformation. So this one is the transformation, it's transferring or conversion of energy. Let's take the first example. Batteries contains chemical energy, and to transform changes into light. This one, fuel, chemical, changes into kinetic energy. Sunlight, the light energy changes into chemical due to photosynthesis. Now electrical energy in the plug changes into heat or thermal energy. And now when you are moving your hand, so kinetic energy, it can change into sound because you are playing the violin. Also the last example about the electricity in the plug, so it can changes into or can run on the washing machine.